Ladies and gentlemen, you have tuned in to the cool JDM show coming at you live from Japan. This is Derek Weldon, owner of Pacific Coast Auto, and your host with the most.
That's true. We also have Mike Dennis here. He is the host with the most as well.
Okay.
And then behind the scenes, we have Max Scheffler.
Hello.
That's right.
And in today's episode, we got a ton of really interesting things in order to show you. Ton spelled Tonne.
The metric version.
Mm-hmm. We were figuring that out in the office, weren't we?
We were.
So in today's episode, you can expect the funniest named vehicle in all of Japan. My favorite. You're going to love that. We got news on speed hunters and what has happened with them. Mm-hmm. The paper cups are back. As you can see, they're on the table there. And the world's coolest ever made speedometer.
Wow.
Derek picks his nose.
Okay.
No candies for Americans. And then open question time. And before we get into all of that, we have industry topics and news, our first segment here. And so from your vote, your popular vote, you had 3 topics. You could pick which one that you liked, and you all picked this topic here.
The majority of people.
Actually, yeah.
Topic.
31 plus 16%. So 47% of you don't want to watch this.
But you'll get it anyway.
Okay, so is 16% the least popular and the one that I want to speak about the most?
Note that for next week's voting.
If money wasn't a concern, what car would you modify and what would you do? With 31%, everybody's single favorite thing about living in Japan. This is my favorite thing, and I think you should vote on it next week. And then my favorite thing, 53% of the vote. Common things missed on the auction sheets. So it seems like a lot of our viewers are intent on buying cars from Japan. Feel free to email us, buy cars from Japan. We only do this for the sales.
We don't mind that you don't care about us as people. We totally understand that you're just here for the car talk.
Which is fair. I mean, it is a companion to what we do, right? People want to learn about buying cars from Japan. We can help them out. And so that is the main topic. Common things that are missed on auction sheets.
Let's dive right in.
Okay, so here's some questions for you and for the audience. How much can you trust the auction sheets?
Ooh.
Next question, how comprehensive of information do you get? And will you know everything about the car before you're bidding on it? These are questions we are going to answer
on this deep dive into common things that are missed on auction sheets.
Okay, so the general rule, and I think this is important for people to know, these are the points that I think are the most important, so we'll start with those. The general rule of the auction sheets is that it is an unbiased review on the car's damages. The auction sheet is written by the seller in terms of sales points and notes, and then it's inspected by an auction inspector. This is a third party. The auction inspector has no cat in the game. Is that an expression that makes sense? The auction inspector has no bulldozer in the mud pit.
That's a good one.
Okay. Right?
Yeah.
So in other words, they don't care whether a car sells or doesn't sell. And so they are going to mark up anything that they can find that is a damage to the car. If anyone tells you anything otherwise than that, ask them where they got that information, because 100% of those people have no way to prove that the auctions have any reason to give a better or worse review on it. As we've said previously, an auction is only as trustworthy as the quality of their reviews. And if it is ever leaked, ever, which it would be, that people are paying for wrong reviews for any reason, that could flatten an auction. And so I personally don't believe that that's a thing, even though some people say it is. Ask them for proof.
Yeah. Many wild claims, none yet substantiated to my knowledge.
My understanding is that the auction sheets can be fully trusted, but you have to understand the limitations of the auction sheet. And you have to understand that sometimes auction sheets do miss information on there, and we are going to get into that within this segment. And then the third point is experience with auction sheets is crucial to understanding what they mean. And so if this is your first time buying, you are at a disadvantage because you might not quite know what the comments in the auction sheet actually mean. And that's what this guy is here for. I kind of missed your shoulder with the first tap.
You got it in the end, though. I felt tapped.
Right. So the sales team here are going to help you understand the auction sheet, and if anything is not clear, feel free to ask for more. This experience also helps you out with being able to read between the lines, which I think is really important on an auction sheet. The information on there is in point form. It is a little simplistic, and it does have limitations, but if you have seen a ton of cars like we have, let me not spill the water today, you'll pretty much understand what you can expect. Reading between the lines, like if the auction sheet has this comment but it has low mileage, it might mean a different thing than having the same comment on a car with high mileage, for example. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. The auction sheets are pretty good at finding the following things. Okay, so I'll list them out and then you guys can comment if you have any extra points for these. So things that the auction sheets are good at finding: underside corrosion, because they see the vehicle from the underside. Paint damage, car accidents, unknown mileage or actual mileage, scratches, dents, headliner being saggy or ripped, seat ripped, dashboard cracked, cigarette burns on the inside, engine problems, transmission problems, windshield damage, oil leaks from the engine, transmission diff, smoking out of the exhaust, missing interior parts, how good the brakes work, these sorts of things. I think if you've watched the auction sheets get translated a few times, you'll start to see the same things over and over again, and start to see the patterns in what the auction inspector is actually looking for and what they're able to find.
Yep.
For the most part, I'd say they do a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think your wording there is important. For the most part, they do a pretty good job at finding those things. I'm sure there are going to be some people who watch this who are like, wait, but... Again, this is a generalization.
Right. So the next segment, not the next segment, the next mini segment in this segment, here are some limitations for the auction sheet, and you do need to pay attention to these when you're sorting through the cars. What sort of information is the auction sheet not going to be able to tell you very good information on? And so first things first, I think it's important to note that these auctions have a ton of cars that they're auctioning. This is not like the auctions in most other countries around the world. These auctions can be super duper big. We're talking over 100,000 cars in a day. Yeah. No, that's not true. How many cars does USS Tokyo do?
USS Tokyo at the max?
It's about 150,000 cars a week, pardon me.
Yeah.
But in a day, USS Tokyo can be over 20,000 cars in a day. And 20,000 cars is a lot of cars. It takes time to inspect those cars, and you only have a week to do it. And so the standard here in Japan with the auction sheets is that the inspectors only have a short amount of time per car to find the damages. That means that sometimes they might feel a little bit rushed, and in that rush might miss something. This is an inevitability based on what kind of system that they have for checking cars. I think that there are a lot of auctions around the world that don't do any inspections, and it's nice to even have that 5 or 7 minutes that the inspector takes to inspect the cars.
Yeah, and remember, these inspectors are licensed mechanics in Japan, so it's not like your neighbor is going to inspect the car who has no business inspecting cars. It's not just an employee somewhere. This is a licensed mechanic, so they know cars.
Right. The next limitation is that older cars are likely to have more missed problems because they have more problems in general. Now, did you know that 70% of the cars at auction are newer than 15 years old?
Wow.
And so that's for Canada. Anyone who's buying for Canada, you only have 30% of the total of all of the auction cars fit into that age group. For the USA, it's even worse. 95.2% of cars are newer than 25 years old, leaving you less than 5% of all of the cars at auction.
Yeah.
Now think when the inspector is inspecting the cars, right? He is like, oh, I'm inspecting mostly cars newer than 2020, maybe 2019, 2018 or something like that.
Yeah.
When they get to cars that are 25 years old, 30 years old, their area of expertise might be limited in those cars. And as a result, I think the pressures of making sure that you do all these inspections, so many possible areas of damage for these older cars, and the fact that it's like, I don't want to be doing this. Let's get it over with kind of personality. I would think that the older the car, the more you have to do the read between the lines kind of thing. The more you have to be experienced about cars to know when you're in over your head and something like that. Again, have questions. This guy has the answers.
Like less than 5% of the cars at auction being over 25 years old, and then them inherently being more difficult to inspect. It's like the 80-20 rule, right? Do you want to spend double the amount of time, which you really need to be doing, inspecting a 25-year-old car? You just can't. You have to treat it the same as a 2019, 2018 car.
Do you think the auction houses themselves really care about improving their ability with these older cars?
I mean, it's a wholesale
95% of their money or more comes from newer cars.
Yeah.
These older cars are a pain in the butt. They break down and stuff.
Yeah. They get moved to different parts of the auction where they're broken.
They stay there for a long time. Like sometimes sellers, this is a little bit off topic, sometimes sellers will re-auction the same car after the reserve is not released for months.
Yeah.
And the auction house is probably like, now we got to move this car again. Now we got to move this car again.
Yeah. And it doesn't start because the battery keeps dying because it's old and it hasn't been,
I think if auctions had it their way, they wouldn't want to have these older cars.
Yeah. And I think that's important as well because the auctions are the place to buy these older Japanese cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're a tiny fraction of what the auction deals in. Like very, very tiny fraction. Yet everyone looks at it as like the mecca for these cars. It has the most selection, and it's a tiny amount of the...
Right? It's weird that it's both things, right? Because even though it's only 5% of the cars, they're all in the same place. Old cars tend to very much go to USS Nagoya, USS Tokyo. So those auctions are the place to get these cars, and you don't have to pay the $10,000 to the dealer, $20,000 to the dealer.
Yeah.
Like I bought my Corolla for roughly $20,000, right? The cheapest you ever see them at dealers is $40,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Richard was asking, are cars that are listed inspected the week prior to going live, or does it depend on the auction house? You just answered it, but is it different for each of the auction houses?
So the auctions runs once per week. So today is Wednesday, USS Tokyo is tomorrow. If I were to deliver my car to USS Tokyo right now, say I was arriving at USS Tokyo right now, they could list it for sale tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
That means if you were someone buying at USS Tokyo tomorrow and you happen to be visiting today, which some people do, they'll visit a day, 2 days before or something to inspect a whole bunch of cars, they would not see my car unless they were there after the time I brought it in. So there is a chance that the cars could be listed as late or as early as last week Friday, or as late as today, the day before the auction, anywhere in between that.
And sometimes when we send a car to auction, we'll delay a week just to make sure more eyeballs are on that car.
Yeah.
I'm sure most people will do that.
Yeah.
Well, most people who have cars that are niche type cars like what we deal in. If it's like another Honda Odyssey, they probably don't care too much about that. Okay, so going back to more limitations in the auction houses, the rainy days when the cars are wet, they are not going to be inspected as well. Wet cars don't show paint fade or scratches nearly as well as when the car is dry. If the car was inspected in the wet, you do have to take that into consideration. The pictures are taken right after the inspection is done. And so if the car's wet in those pictures, you have to assume, you have to read between the lines, there are probably more scratches and more paint damage than the auction sheet is telling you there.
Good take. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Max.
Yeah, I never thought about it, but it makes so much sense.
Okay, sales points are from the seller. The seller writes all the sales points. The auction does not write that. The inspector doesn't know about some of the sales points, this in particular about aftermarket things on the car. The inspectors are pros at what they do. It's not their responsibility to list a bunch of aftermarket parts. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't, but you as the buyer, hopefully you understand more about what aftermarket parts are in the car that you can see in the pictures, but you have to assume there might be more that are not listed on there. Some of the sellers will write something like various modifications, see in person for details. For some people, it can be a mixed bag. I think you're looking at me, Max, because you want to tell a story about your car?
My car had a Cusco Type RS diff, and there's no way they could have checked for an aftermarket diff. So, it, of course, wasn't listed on the sheet.
Aftermarket diff sometimes is caught, sometimes isn't, actually. It depends, because the aftermarket diff is noticeable when you're driving it, if you turn a tight corner. But if they don't turn a tight corner, they might not have noticed it.
Yep.
That's a very good point of something that might be considered a limitation. Other things that the seller might not know about the car, A big one is diff lockers. Like a lot of these Land Cruisers or other SUVs have manual diff lockers as an optional extra, which adds value, and people are seeking that out, right?
Significant value.
Some sellers don't realize that and don't write it on the sheet, but the auction inspector, it's not their job. And so diff lockers, not written there by the inspector, only if the sales rep, only if the seller knows about that. Specific features that might be rare, like the massaging seats in Excelsior.
Ooh. Yes, please.
I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head right now, but there are a ton of different things like options on the car. Does this car have that? And unless it's something simple like power steering, then it could be something that's missed.
Or an option that came with a specific package, like executive lounge package, is going to come with the executive lounge features. But if there's anything that was an option, it's up to the seller to write that, or you to wait and see. No way to know it if the seller doesn't write it.
I just thought of a great example for this. The CRX Del Sol in Japan has something called the Trans Top, and hope we don't get modified for saying that word, but it's an electronic, like fully electromechanical roof removal tool. And so a little crane comes up from the trunk, grabs the roof, pulls the roof in, and then brings it back into the trunk. And those fail on the cars pretty frequently. The gears inside them are made out of plastic. They are exposed to the elements at the top. They just go brittle and they break. But sellers, unless they mention it's a trans top or no trans top, you can't actually tell visually whether it has it or not. And if you get one with a broken trans top, you can't export it. Yeah. So
ask
a little bit of a limitation there.
Ouch.
Other things, documents on the car, history papers of the car. If the seller mentions them, great. If the seller doesn't mention them, they might still have them. It's up to the seller again. And again, aftermarket parts. Another limitation, various scratches and dents. We had a customer ask us about this. What does various scratches and dents mean? I have seen it on just about every auction sheet that is out there. What does that mean? And so that's like a catch-all. Or this, we want to cover our butts.
Yeah. I think the way the customer worded it was, I can see the auction diagram. It looks very, very clean. Maybe there's some A1s or U1s on one or two locations, but then the note says various scratches and dents. And they said, how can that be the case when the sheet is so clean? And that is because they write various in scratches and dents when there are too many to list.
Or too small. Few. It could be anything. I think they just...
Yeah, that's true.
They just write that on every car in case they missed something.
Yeah.
So like that could mean lots of scratches. They would be marked on the diagram if that's the case, or it could mean almost no scratches.
Yeah.
It's just going to be there on every sheet. The same thing goes with interior dirty. There is, and we'll get more into this in a sec, but there's a big difference between interior dirty on one car and interior dirty on another car. Yeah. They don't usually tell the levels of it. And then here's another point. Inspections are done on the car when it comes in for inspection. The cars will sit in the auction lot until they sell. 60% of the cars are selling first week. 40% of the cars are selling later on, not meeting the reserve or whatnot. This ratio is much higher for older cars, as older cars have a smaller market, which means that the sellers want to wait until they get what they want for the car more often than a new car that's highly competitive, and there are hundreds of the same car out there. This is important to know, that if the car stays at the auction, it is still able to be tested by people. It's still possible something could break down during that time, or that it could be damaged by somebody who's inspecting the car, and that's not covered for the most part. The auction inspection, the condition was during inspection. Any damages after that are not covered, basically.
I think a small note here, we've probably already talked about it before on a previous episode, but when the inspections are done, the vehicles are inspected and taken through photos. You might see some vehicles that are listed as like star or 0 or uninspected vehicles. And we've had people ask us, I can see that the vehicle went through the photo booth to get photos taken. That means it's drivable, right? That means it should be okay to purchase, right? Even though it's uninspected, it should be okay. If the vehicle is inspected, driven through for photos, and then breaks, it will be moved to an uninspected corner, but they'll use those same photos. Sometimes they may retake the photos, but there's no guarantee. So we've bought a car where we warned the customer of this. We said, be careful if you buy this. It is uninspected. You're taking a big risk here. You don't know about the condition. They said, no, I'm okay. I know that it went through and got photos. When we went to pick up the car, the engine was seized. Completely done.
Which car was that?
It was a Chaser, JZX 100.
Oh, that sucks.
It was a while ago, yeah. And he was thinking, I can't believe that's the case. I saw it get photos, and it's like, it's uninspected. You have to expect the worst here. So
we bought an uninspected car once, and it was a beautiful car. It was an Alfa Romeo 147 GTA 6-speed manual.
Goes both ways.
I got the car, inspected it. The car was perfect, except it had a hole about this big in the top of the transmission. You could see the gears spinning when it was idling.
Wow.
I have no idea how something like that happens. But yeah, the uninspected corner, you never know why it's there.
Yeah.
And
unless you
replacing the transmission on that car is worth more than the car's worth. So.
Yep. Ouch.
Okay, so the next sub-segment in this is things that the auction houses struggle with. You should probably pay attention to this when you're browsing the auction, because the auction inspections, like I said, they're good, but there are certain things that they're just not made for. So let's go through this list. These cars aren't driven. They are driven into the photo booth and they're driven out. But they're not really test driven. There are a lot of things that could be a problem on the car that you would only know if you were to test drive it. Something that's only apparent at a certain speed, or something that's only apparent in a certain gear, or, you know, there could be so many different things. Something that's only suspension related, and only after you bump it a certain amount are you going to hear that knock. You got a point, Max?
And this is something you can't even catch if you get additional inspections, right? Because you can't move the cars outside the parking lot.
Right.
That's right. They're all parked in, so nobody can test drive them.
I think a good point of this is a clutch. A clutch will usually work pretty well when the car's cold and you're moving it around. But once the clutch heats up, then it starts to slip because the clutch disc is just low on friction material. Higher gears in the transmission. Wheel bearings. Wheel bearings often will not make any sounds when driven slowly, but at higher speeds you'll hear that whit sound on them. Brakes. Usually the auction, like I said, are pretty good at finding brakes. Like if the pedal goes all the way to the floor, obviously that's pretty easy. But a brake that has a warped disc, for example, is only going to be apparent over 100 kilometers an hour, over 60 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
So these things are not going to be able to be found at all in the auction inspection sheet. And so I got my car and the brakes are warped. Well, it happens. Read between the lines. Your car has 150,000 kilometers. There's probably going to be a few things that need to be serviced.
And a 25-year-old car as well. Let's not forget that that's what a lot of people are looking at. Even 15 years old is like, there's going to be something. You don't just buy a used car off Facebook Marketplace and expect to drive it hassle-free for the next year and a half or something, right? Like,
I think the issue is that for many people, that's the goal. Like, they would go into it like, I want that car that I don't need to do anything on.
Yeah.
That's why education.
Well, those cars exist. You're just paying more for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you buy them from auction, there's a risk portfolio, right?
Yeah.
You buy what looks like the perfect car. There's a really good chance that it is perfect, and then a smaller chance that it has quite a bit of servicing that's required. If you buy a car that has previously been drifted, this is the opposite.
Yeah.
You have a very, very high chance, near 100% chance, that it needs some pretty major work on it. And if it's like, wow, this drift car needs nothing, you can be like, wow, I'm the 1%.
That would be a unicorn. Wow. We have had some cars that have clearly been drifted, and they've been exported just fine without us needing to do much. Maybe a suspension lift up or something because it's too low. But
the thing with drift cars, though, is that they're very much sold when they're at the end of life.
Yeah.
Like, drifters often don't care about the condition of the car so much as, can I go sideways in a corner? Is
it running well enough that will get me to the racetrack and get me sideways? If so, my car is perfect.
The next thing that the auction sheets struggle with is the interior cigarette smell.
Yep.
Smoking is more popular in Japan than many other countries. We've talked about this before. I think that the auction inspectors will usually not mention it unless it's extremely bad. And if it's extremely bad, they only sometimes mention it.
Yeah.
If it says cigarette burns in the car, then you know it's been smoked in. If you see headliner is dirty, it's almost certainly been smoked in as well.
Run away quickly.
If it says headliner is yellow, I feel like recently, like in the last 5 years, we've been starting to see this more often. Headliner yellow, because it wasn't nearly as popular as it is these days.
Okay.
And a yellow headliner is yellowed because of the years and years of cigarette smoke making its way up near the headliner.
That one, just completely disregard the car immediately unless you plan on stripping the entire interior.
Or
Yeah.
you smoke yourself.
It's
and
tough.
you don't.
And you
Unless
love that smell.
Yeah. I don't know. A question for the audience. If you do smoke, do you like the smell of, like, say you go into an a hotel room or an old car and it smells of
I can't stand it.
years and years worth of cigarette damage? Do you like that? I don't.
Do you even notice?
Yeah.
I don't even notice. I don't.
This is a genuine question, by the
I
way.
think it depends on the
I'm
level,
actually
right? Like if it's just mildly cigarette smelly and you're a smoker, you might not notice it. Like in the same way that somebody who smokes regularly.
Would it be a not
Or
notice,
somebody who
or
is-
would it be
doesn't-
like, oh, this is quite a pleasant smell, maybe, or like
Oh.
I like this smell?
I don't know. Like, I feel like cigarette smell is two different things. When it's a new cigarette, it smells different from an old cigarette.
Right. Yeah.
And they're different smells. And so I don't, unless somebody likes smoking really old cigarettes, I couldn't see them liking that.
cigarettes.
Maybe that's a new thing.
Yeah.
We have aged alcohol. How about aged cigarettes?
Yeah.
But then they would have to be smoked first. It'd have to be like, so they would sell you an
Pre-smoked.
ashtray full of butts.
Ouch. Ah.
Okay, the next one, and this is kind of a big one. They're really good about telling you if the underside has corrosion, but it doesn't paint the true picture of how much corrosion is on the underside and how severe it is. Depending on where the corrosion is, it could be easy to fix or it could be difficult to fix. And the auction inspectors don't have any of the information needed in order to make that decision. Yes, you can pay for extra pictures if you want, but if you want a car without corrosion, just buy one without corrosion. The auction sheets will say no corrosion on the underside, or they don't say it. They will just have no mark about corrosion. You can feel pretty confident that there's no corrosion. Again, you got to read between the lines. If the car's 25 years old, that's pretty much impossible.
Yeah.
So to at least not have some surface rust on the underside.
Yeah.
Surface rust, wouldn't worry about it too much. Corrosion, on the other hand, I usually try to stay away from it unless you otherwise can't. Like I bought my 72 Corolla. It actually has no corrosion on the underside, but if I'm looking for that car, of course I'll consider ones with corrosion because they all do.
Yeah. No other choice. Comes
I just
part and parcel.
I just got lucky with mine. Part and parcel.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say with corrosion as well, if you see a note that says corrosion, expect there to be more. If the inspector says 1 part corrosion, I would just expect there to be more because corrosion can be difficult to find. The vehicles are not put up on a hoist. There's no flashlight being shined under there into every nook and cranny.
I think that they have a pit, like drive on top pit, and
Some
somebody is
places.
under there looking.
Yeah. Otherwise, they just have the photos sometimes.
Yeah, cameras underneath that take the photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, if you see corrosion, just expect there is more areas of corrosion that haven't been found as well. This is not a thorough inspection. It is, well, it's thorough. It's not comprehensive. So they've found some corrosion. There could be more.
The details on heavily modified cars, many of the sellers don't really understand what the heck's going on with a modified car. They don't know which parts are aftermarket.
Yeah.
The auction inspectors will maybe list a few things, but usually you can kind of tell. Sometimes you get something more modified than you want. Sometimes you get some modifications that you wanted that you didn't know that you had. You have to be open to that. Tire condition. Most of the time, the auction inspectors don't tell you the condition of the tires. Some of the auctions will put a little number over the wheel, like a 3 would mean 3 millimeters of tread left on the tires, but they don't say the age of the tires.
Yeah.
If the car is a little on the old side, probably needs some new tires. If the car has new-ish tires, you can just be really lucky about that.
Yeah.
They don't tell you either about the dot or E mark, right?
Definitely not. Not a requirement here in Japan. So if you're in Canada and you want DOT approved tires, you will not know. If you're in Europe and want the E mark tires, you will not know. unless you know the specific brand of tires that are on the car and if they comply or not. But to my understanding, some tires have like, this is just an example, but a Pilot Sport tire in Europe and a Pilot Sport tire in Japan could be different.
They will be different. Yeah.
So don't take that.
Yeah. The high-end tire brands, they have regulations per market that they sell to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've bought some cars that have the original tires on them
that are after 25 years old.
Yeah.
Which you can't do.
Yeah.
Because they blow out when you drive them over the bridge.
Yeah. Ask Derek how he knows. We have had cars with tire blowouts too. We can replace tires here before export.
Okay, this one is more of a problem for us than it is for people who are buying the car, but the vehicle dimensions. If you need to make sure that this lifted car will fit into your garage, the seller is supposed to write it on the sheet.
Yeah.
The sellers are lazy assheads, and they don't do it. That was my one swear for the... You said 2 last show. Yeah. So
I can have 3 this time, right?
I can say
up it for each episode. Don't do that.
Yeah, Derek's right. Like also sometimes Oh, go ahead. You wanna?
I'm sorry, I don't want to miss this point, and because I'm going to ADHD and forget about it.
Okay, go.
This comes down to shipping the car. If it's been lifted or if it's a high roof camper or something like that, we literally have to guess the size of it for shipping. And I think we're pretty good at that. Sometimes we get it wrong one way or another. So there is some concern if the vehicle is outside of its regular dimensions from factory, which of course we could look up. Then there might be some error in the cost of shipping. Yeah.
And likewise, if the dimensions are written, they might not be the actual dimensions.
That happens from time to time.
A roof box, for example, the seller's not going to go to the registration offices here and update the height of their vehicle. It's going to be stock height vehicle, but it's actually 40 centimeters taller with a roof box. So be careful. And we will also be careful.
How long does this list go on for? It seems very comprehensive, doesn't it?
It does seem comprehensive. I hope everyone's enjoying this so far.
The location of the oil leaks. It'll just say engine oil leak or diff oil leak, but we don't know. Is this a rear main seal? Is it a head gasket? Is it a valve cover gasket? The pan seal? Is it the distributor? You know, it could leak out of many different places. They don't tell you anything about it other than oil leaks. Or another common comment is oil minor leaks. And the minor leaks are usually no problem. This is just your natural permeance of the gasket that you get in regular everyday running, and no gaskets need to be replaced. Actual oil leaks, you probably need to replace the gasket at some point, and if it's enough that it drips down on the ground, the car can't ship, so it might have to be fixed here in Japan. And I think they're pretty good about finding oil leaks. Better than I am. I've shot a number of cars when I'm doing the report for them, and it says engine oil leaks, and I can't find any. I look underneath, can't find any. So I think that they are a little bit picky about that. Yeah.
One of their main criteria maybe. Because it's also for shipping, right? You can't ship if it drips.
Yeah. Right, that's why Derek's mentioning it. If you buy a car with an oil leak, or often if you're getting an inspection or a translation, and we see oil leak, we will let you know that this could be a problem before shipping. If it's dripping down, it will be rejected for Ro-Ro shipping. You need to have it repaired here in Japan, which we can do. But keep in mind there's extra costs and everything like that. So
my favorite, extra costs. Next on the list, our comprehensive list, is the aftermarket parts. They are often not checked. If the car has something like an aftermarket Navi, it might not say if it is working or not. If the car has an aftermarket turbo, it might not say if the tune is good or not. Yeah. So this throws in a little bit of a wrench. The inspectors are not required to check the function of aftermarket parts, and so they usually won't. So anything with aftermarket parts may carry an extra risk depending on how likely that part is to fail. Typically, OEM parts are built to a higher standard than aftermarket parts. So if it's an aftermarket part like widened fenders or body kits or things like that, the fit and finish is usually much worse than the regular car. The quality of the paint on that part is going to be worse. It might be more susceptible to fade or peeling or something like that. Okay, next one. Exactly how bad is the interior? I mentioned this briefly. When it says interior dirty, there's a big difference between interior dirty and interior dirty. And so If it's a 4x4 or something like that, Jimny, Pajero, Land Cruiser, Delica, Land Cruiser Prado. If it's a VIP car, Celsior that's been modified, SEMA that's been modified, certain types of cars, drift cars.
K-trucks.
K-trucks, very good point. They're oftentimes interior dirty means interior dirty.
Yeah. Almost a guarantee that a coffee or other sweet drink has been spilled and there is residue there that has then not been cleaned up and has collected dust and grime that just fills out the little sticky area and then becomes a new trim piece.
I guess I'll sell the car. Like, I've seen so many cars with not cleaned coffee spills.
Yeah.
Like,
or do you remember that one K car that has just dirt? Everything.
It looks like someone sandblasted.
You say
the
the one K car. The amount of K cars I've shot like that are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, they work in like a sand quarry or something.
Dirt
and they just keep the doors open and they're like, come on in, sand.
Or they transport the sand on the cabin of the car. Just like, let's dump some bags in here.
It will take me 3 trips or 2 if I put some in the interior.
Okay, another important one, so pay attention to this, is intermittent warning lamps. A lot of warning lamps will come and go, or some of the sneaky sellers will clear them before they send them to auction, and then they're going to show up. Like airbag or ABS lamps are famous for these.
Would you like a quick personal anecdote?
Yep.
The BMW I sold at auction, the check engine light would only come on if you planted the accelerator.
Oh.
So when you switch the car off, the engine light would go away. So when I took it to auction and sold it, there was no check engine light. But I expect that whoever purchased that vehicle found out shortly afterwards that there was a check engine light.
Well, they got the car for a good deal, so
They got the car for a
them.
screaming deal.
But it also said
this is something that isn't.
check engine light on.
No, it had the other warning lights, but not the check engine light.
Ah.
So there were, that car was interesting. Anyway, we don't need to talk about that.
BMW with check engine lights.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then wobbly shift knob, I put this in just for those Impreza buyers. Impreza shift knobs are made out of like carpet or something. I don't know. They're always very, very wobbly and loose, and that's not checked. It's never on the auction sheet. Well, I've seen it like twice in the hundreds of Imprezas that we've had that problem with. And then sometimes they check the audio, sometimes they don't. So every once in a while you'll get a car that the audio system doesn't work. It's more commonly a problem for aftermarket systems or cars over 25 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those were the things that the auctions struggle with. Next is
it's a mini segment.
The
next mini segment is, while usually correct, the following are where we see mistakes. So I would say 90+% of the time the auction sheet will catch this, but these are where the mistakes lie. Okay, first one, AC not working. Of all of the things on the auction sheet that are missing, this is probably the number one that is the most concerning for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while the AC will not be working, and it can be expensive to fix. Yeah.
There's no note about that. Especially relevant now in summer, where if the AC is not working, the drivers from the transport company will refuse to drive the vehicle because it's dangerous.
That's a new rule as of like a year or year and a half ago.
There's been a rule since I've been here, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't pay attention to my job.
Oh, it happens sometimes. I mean, it's usually not a concern because the AC usually works, but...
Right. The next one, corrosion on the underside. Sometimes the auction inspector will just miss it. It happened on a Pajero that went to Canada to a friend of mine recently. Sad story. There was a corrosion hole on the underside. There was no mention of corrosion. In that case, I think it was just inspector slip up. It happens. Unfortunately, you can't claim it. Yeah. Corrosion on the underside can be a big problem or an expensive problem. In that case, the auction house will say it's against our policy to allow claims for corrosion on vehicles older than X years old, and that X is usually 10 years old. So it is not a foolproof way to purchase when buying from auction. These things can happen. You have to expect it to happen every once in a while. We want to make sure you know about that before you're buying at auction, and then you can make the decision if the auction is the right way for you to buy. Okay.
I think as you're listening to any of this, keep in mind that the auctions are a wholesale way to buy. You're not buying retail, therefore you're not paying retail price. You're paying significantly less. That means you're also taking on more risk. So while these things might sound super concerning, it's backed up by the fact that you're getting the vehicles for much cheaper.
Connected to the AC situation,
Mhm.
DW had a question. So you need to fix the AC before export?
Not necessarily.
The port drivers don't care.
Yeah, you can still ship the vehicle row. That's totally fine. But transporting it from the auction to the port or to our lot and then to the port, which if you're getting a report, that will not be done by a driver. It has to go on a truck. That means the price is more expensive. We can have the AC fixed before export, but it's probably expensive, and you don't know what's broken on the AC either.
Japkawa asked what can be claimed in the auction. I think that we either have talked about that or we will. I think I've seen that in the docket. It's more comprehensive than we can talk about in this show. We would go on for too long. But I noticed that he says he has a car he wants to send to auction. Mr. Japkawa, are you in Japan? And are you
Probably.
a car exporter? Question to him. On to the other mini segments. No, this is the same mini segment. Peeling paint sometimes on a door mirror on a spoiler can be missed, even though it's usually caught. Drift cars that run but don't run super well.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Well,
Alarmingly
generally,
common.
cars that run.
Or race cars. We won't say just drift cars. Race
Yeah.
cars have this problem too. A
Yeah.
lot of them have aftermarket computers. A lot of them have modifications that are at the end of their lives. The auction will see the car. It might run fine when it's cold or bad when it's hot.
Yeah.
Or it's just like fluctuates in idle and the inspector just missed that.
Yeah.
These types of problems, again, can be intermittent, or sometimes the auction inspectors miss them. Next one.
I will add
yeah.
to that highly modified cars. Very high chance they don't run well because the modifications were done 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they are no longer in the same condition as when they were modified.
Or Toyotas with dirty MAF sensors.
Yeah.
How would you know about that, Max?
Oh, I don't know.
Next one, bad alternators. This one I think comes down to sneaky sellers more than anything, but a number of cars, once they reach a certain age, will need a new alternator, and people don't know much about cars. Your average person doesn't know a lot about cars, and they're like, my car's not working. They take it to a dealer, and the dealer's like, oh, your car's messed up. Really, it just needs an alternator. It needs a $800 alternator to be replaced. But they're like, oh, I could take this car off your hands for you. They take the car, they replace the battery to a new battery, knowing that the alternator's broken, and then ship it over to auction.
Yeah.
Yes, alternators. A non-significant portion of alternators need to be replaced every month of the cars that we export. I would say less than 5%. But it is a concern. If the alternator is broken, it is good knowing that you've got a nice fresh alternator and a new battery in there, but it will happen to you if you're importing for long enough, especially if you're importing high-ace vans, Land Cruisers, Delicas.
It seems like the bigger, like the crown level of Toyotas too.
Really?
Not too many. I don't know if I'm right about that, but I feel maybe we've just had like a spree of them at a certain point, and that's stuck in my mind. But
Because with the new battery, then the car is going to run completely fine without charging the battery until the battery is dead. So
Yeah.
they've got, depending on how many times it's turned on and used, a month or so before they are going to need a new battery again. And doing this will damage the battery as well. So even if the battery is only a month old, sometimes you're going to have to replace that battery. Because the battery, when it goes
Yeah.
completely flat and stays like that, it damages the cells inside.
Spaghetti Software said cars that sit in humid conditions tend to have alternators fall in quick order. I didn't know that was the case.
I didn't know that either. Now I'm going to go do some research. Thank you for
Yeah.
pointing that out. I love new information like that. And then repaired sections on the car. Like you'll see a W2 on cars. This again is a Max thing. I saw your head perk up.
Yep.
Max had this on his car. So the auction sheet will say like W2 for this panel and this panel and this panel.
The whole side, basically, on mine.
Right. Sometimes the auction inspector doesn't notice that some of the panels have been repainted. It actually kind of happens frequently. For the most part, the paint is passable, but it varies a lot. But if it's bad enough, then they'll definitely get it. But some of those ones where it's like, I think it's been repainted, but I don't know, You really have to have a good eye for repaints to see what the finish looks like. Some of the repaints can be extremely well done, but still not have that OEM look to it. And it takes some experience to understand that. So I feel like it is missed, at least semi-frequently. Okay, and the next mini segment, because Derek wrote down a lot of things to talk about. I hope this isn't too dry or boring. To anyone who wants to know this information, it could be vital and interesting.
Yeah.
But if you, I don't know, I could see how this would slow down the show a lot, just talking about so many very intricate details about the auction system.
I was thinking it would be nice to have like the points listed behind us or somewhere so that people could follow along. But it's although it's a live video, you can go back and watch it when it's uploaded if you wanted to like hone in on any things that you zoned out with doing, because I would probably zone out.
There is a test coming. We're going to test all of you.
There is a quiz at the end. I hope you were paying attention.
Japakawa answered that he's in Saitama. They are in Saitama. Don't export, but only buy and sell locally.
Cool.
Oh, interesting.
Sounds interesting. We don't want to sell to people in Japan because the registration process is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And like most foreigners who would be our customers here don't have the Japanese skill enough to go through the registration process, and we don't do it ourselves because we're not. It's just not in our wheelhouse.
You could though. A lot of money to be made. That's why all the dealers want to sell cars here,
especially near the base.
Yeah.
The dealerships around the army bases here, they're snakes.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you landed in Japan and you can't register your own car because you don't know Japanese. Let me help you, sir.
Pretty bad idea to try to swindle someone who's like trained in combat, right?
It's not a bad idea thought, but people don't realize how cheap the cars are. Like people are buying from Japan and paying for shipping and our service fee and importing to their country at a lower price than the cars cost. So imagine people from the U.S. coming here not realizing that you can get cars for $800 or something like that.
Yeah.
In many cases, if it's like a newer car, something that's 10 or 12 years old, it can be really cheap. Okay, so something that is hard for the auction to notice, something that auctions can't notice for the most part. Rust, and I'll just skip through this because I'm tired of talking about it, honestly. But rust that's underneath side skirts or over fenders. None of these parts are taken off of the cars, and so it's never going to be checked. It is impossible to ever know about something like that.
Anything that's
even
not
behind underneath
visible.
Carpet or something like that, rust that is hidden somewhere.
Yeah, they usually catch it in the trunk, and that's about it because there's no lining or anything. Yeah,
they'll pull up the trunk thing and look for rust in the trunk, but like some areas in the trunk you just can't because it's a more secure panel or something like that. Aftermarket parts, like I said, the auction inspectors often don't know about this. They might say aftermarket steering wheel, aftermarket wheels, aftermarket suspension, these sorts of very easy things, but there are plenty of modifications that the auction inspectors won't understand, like aftermarket camshafts, or in your case, Max, the diff.
Yep.
Timing belt condition.
Yeah.
Because they don't take the front of the engine off.
Yeah.
So they don't know the condition of the engine.
Line.
All belt conditions, unless they're bad enough that they're squealing, really.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's just not something that's inspected. Yeah.
Leaking trunk, because unless it's raining, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Future problems that are right on the verge of happening. They are not going to know. And bad alternators, which you already talked about, so I will skip over that. In conclusion, keep in mind that this is wholesale buying. Most of these cars are ready to go. I don't know. I can't remember what I wrote here, so I'm just going to read it.
Some of these cars are ready to go. Most need some sort of work before they're retail ready. I think you would find, yes, most expect your car to need something before it is. If you're selling it on locally, expect that you're going to need to do some work. Maybe in Japan before it's exported, maybe once it arrives with you. The older the cars get, or the higher the mileage, the more that can be expected to be problematic. Those are hard-hitting, well-written thoughts to end on.
Thank you. You sucking up to me?
No?
I thought it would have been funny if you said yes.
Yes.
Funny.
Nice.
And that concludes everything that we wanted to talk about with that. Certainly, if you do have questions, we have a question segment at the end of the show, which is probably in about 45 minutes or so from now. And maybe so please feel free to ask the questions.
Stick around.
If I
we
point
will
at
answer.
the clock enough.
If Max points at the clock
doesn't point
enough.
at the clock anymore. I had a talk with Max about that.
A stern talking
No,
to.
we didn't.
Oh, he didn't.
No, we're just getting better at performing the show. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So the next segment, this is still in the same segment, but this is still the industry topics and news.
Same.
I needed to bring this up. Dino, I don't know if you guys know Dino, but he was the co-founder of Speed Hunters. He has his own YouTube channel. Maybe you don't know him by name. That's right. Dino Dal Carbonare.
Something like he's
I
got
don't know
a very
how to
cool
pronounce
name.
it.
Yeah.
I have met him a few times. I am friends with some of his friends. I have never seeked out a friendship with him. He seems like a pretty cool dude. He has been in and around the industry for a very long time. Speed Hunters is without a doubt the biggest car culture blog on the internet from 2008 when it started until this year when it ended. And I think this is especially dear to a lot of the hearts of people who like JDM cars, because this was, for many of us, our first real window into Japanese car culture. Yeah. And not only did they do that, they did it well. And there was a reason why they were the number one. Speed Hunters is owned by EA. EA had made this.
Electronic Arts.
Right, the video game company, as a way to understand car culture at a deeper level, to put that understanding into their games. I'm not sure how much of it went into the games, but I think it's an interesting play, especially EA being a notoriously stingy company. With all of their, we made the game. All of you people that made the game for us, okay, you don't have a job anymore, but if we need you, we'll call you. It's the video game industry. What can you do?
Oh, it'd be fascinating to sit down and talk to him about all of the things that he must have known and been through with that whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because as far as I understand, he was the guy that was, he would have the meetings with EA,
it, right?
saying, yes to this, no to this kind of thing. Like the
so
point
Dino,
of expertise.
If you're watching this,
it'd probably be more in his best interest to make his own video about it, like a deep dive.
He has his own channel. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Dino has one of the things about Dino and his friend Larry Chen. Both of them are Speed Hunters alumni. Both of them have access to a lot of great things, especially here in Japan on Dino's side. And so if you want to see the things that no other content creators are giving you, check out his channel. And that leads me to the next point, is that Dino, along with Larry Chen, who also has his own channel and is a contributor to Haggerty and makes some of the coolest videos on that channel.
Yes.
They have gotten together with several of the other Speed Hunters, previous employees or contractors of Speed Hunters, and they are starting their own thing. There's not a lot known about it. Dino just dropped the video 2 days ago. It is called Turnpike, and then the website is turnpike.global, I believe.
Yep.
And it seems like
now.
It seems like they are trying to make some sort of a car culture phenomenon like Speed Hunters was previously. We don't exactly know why Speed Hunters went under. Blogs are kind of not paid attention to at the same level as they were 15 years ago. But it seems like it might have been a little bit of a rough exit for those people. Like come in to drop your story that you've been working on, and you're not allowed to upload things anymore, is what Dino said in his video. He explains it better than I can, so if you are interested, check out that video. It's a picture of Dino sitting next to a tombstone with the Speed Hunters logo on it. It is sad, Speed Hunters. It's big. It's awesome. Many people have Speed Hunters stickers on their cars because...
Although, if you scroll down on this page, I think... I didn't know about this. I don't know much about it. I haven't seen Dino's video. I still need to check it out. But keep going down. That picture there with the GTR and Fuji... Have a look at the logo. It's the Speed Hunter style, everything. The artist name, the Turnpike. So they're able to retain some of their specialness. So perhaps Speed Hunters isn't gone. It's just been renamed Turnpike.
I don't think that Speed Hunters is in any position to be coming after anyone for intellectual property like that. So,
especially for little things like this.
Like style things.
I don't know. I
can
feel
be a
like
little bit hard to prove.
I feel like that's a huge thing. Like, if you're scrolling through the internet and you see that picture, you think Speed Hunters. So they're taking the brand recognition that they get from Speed Hunters and transferring it to Turnpike, which I think is great for them because I hope they're successful and I hope they do well.
I think it's different enough for not being an actual issue that they could follow through.
As far as I know, all the 5 people that are starting Turnpike are all very good creators. And so if there's any reason to be paying attention to this, it's because you can see in these pictures, they are very well done pictures. They have established themselves as important people in the industry, and you're going to get good quality stuff. The question I have is, which direction are we going in? The video from Dino was very vague, and they don't really explain things, but they do say things that really caught my attention, such as, this is now going to be a place where people can promote their own cars and their own builds. And I immediately thought Drive Tribe.
Car Throttle.
Car Throttle? Right.
It's the same thing, yeah.
And Piston Heads is like that too. Piston Heads is maybe not so popular anymore because, again, blog style thing. And I do wonder, because content creators that are in Japan and want to make car content and things like that, the go-to is very much Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, with the emphasis being on YouTube because it's the one that's the easiest to monetize, right?
But most of the people, I feel like, do Instagram because it's easier to start with.
Yeah.
I am
Easier
not
to
a user
stumble
of
on.
Instagram, so I don't understand the value proposition there. Every time I try to get into it, I just scroll pictures and I'm like, what am I doing here? I really don't get it. It might be like a generational thing. So it seems Dino said that Instagram is especially where he wants to send people that are interested in this. And so go check them out. I wrote down a couple of numbers for their socials. This is a brand new thing. But they currently have 8,300 followers on Instagram, 330 likes on Facebook, and 621 subs on YouTube, despite not having any YouTube videos on there. So people are in preparation for them blowing up. I'd like to see something great. I believe that these people deserve it. As far as I know, they are very much the type of people you want to be following, not the type of creator that is going to over sensationalize things and I live in Japan and everything is special for me.
What's up, guys? Welcome to this week's video. Let's get it.
So maybe something a little bit more mature than what you can expect from your typical Japanese car content creator.
I really enjoy that side of Dino, how his videos, like, he's got a lot of great information. I think he presents them well, and it's none of the rah-rah YouTuber, influencer type thing.
More mature.
We should aim for a crossover episode.
I was just thinking it would be
YouTube
so
channel.
cool
Drive
if we
Japan.
could get our cars on a Turnpike feature or like some kind of something.
We do have all special
track day.
cars now.
Yep, so that's some news that you can pay attention to. Now we are on to the next segment, and the next segment is car picks. And we only have 3 car picks this time.
Let's go.
The first one, and this is the funniest name I have ever heard of a car in Japan. The name of this. Say it in your sexy voice.
It is you want the name and the date?
And because I can't say it without laughing.
Okay. It is a 2005 Mitsubishi Fuso Super Great Dump. Super Great Dump.
Not just a great one.
Super Great Dump.
This is the official name. I'm just going to zoom into it.
Hold on, the Super Great is the official name. The Dump is the type of vehicle. So you can get Super Great box trucks and Super Great loaders. And
I don't know. I've never had a Super Great loader, but...
And Grant brought this one up to me. So Grant does the searching of the vehicles, and he's like, Derek, what do you think about putting a car in just because it has a funny name? And my eyebrows rose up. I was like, that's exactly why I want these cars in here.
Yep.
So if you want to have a Super Great Dump, then you can buy one from Pacific Coast Auto. You just send us an email and say, I'd love a Super Great Dump.
Yeah. And as you're probably wondering, you want some specifics on the Super Great Dump. You want to
Did you write down any jokes for this?
No, I'm just coming up with the head. I remember we decided we wanted to find the carrying capacity, right? Like, how big would a Super Great Dump really be?
How heavy that Super Great Dump is. How fast can you Super Great Dump?
Well, it's got a 21.2 liter diesel V8. That'll probably...
That's a very high volume Super Great Dump.
That's some powerful pushing.
This could be a whole video. Like, how
it could
fast
be.
is it? Super Great. Yeah.
On to the next car.
There was a dry segment, so this was a good little break.
Okay, so speaking honestly about the format of the show, I prefer a show that has the main segment later in the show when people are warmed up a little bit to how the show is normally going to be, because the main topic can sometimes be a little on the dry side.
Yeah.
On the other hand, people are clicking on the thumbnail expecting an answer to the question that's in the thumbnail, and if they don't get it right away, they're like, what a ripoff.
Like,
Which I understand, because I feel like a lot of podcasts are kind of annoying in that respect. I don't have time for the whole thing, but I am curious to know the answer to that.
And otherwise, people are just going to scrub through to the main topic. They're like, I'm not interested.
If
main
that,
topic. Give me that.
I think many people
they might just peace
like
out.
me would be like, I want to know, but I guess I could just Google it.
Yeah. Or I'm not that interested anymore anyway, so who cares?
Especially coming as a small channel that's just establishing itself, right? Like if you're Linus Tech Tips with the WAN show, right? People know them. They know what to expect.
Yeah.
But most people see our thumbnail and go, I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we got 2 subscribers from one of the live shows.
Ooh,
I haven't been watching this, so I don't know if it happens, but I feel like the live shows is primarily our regular subscribers knowing us and wanting to see something from us, right?
Yeah.
For somebody to watch a live show and go, I want more of that, is exciting for me. It's only 2 people, but it's still exciting to me.
I want to hear from those people. Why? Why did you do that? Thank you, but
Idiot.
why? No, not idiot.
So
Thank you, and tell us what about the show was like, yes, I want more.
the last 2 streams had +2 subscribers.
That's 4.
The in-depth guide import from Japan, which is quite well clicked, 3 subscribers.
Ooh.
I'm just going through the list here. Cheapest JDM hero 1 subscriber, so thank you for that one person.
I think
So there is something
there's people. It's growing. I think I figured out why people want the main topic first. Predominantly, our viewers are men. Men aren't into foreplay. We want the main topic right away.
On to the
Solved.
next one.
Solved.
A
You're welcome.
2004 Suzuki...
No, go ahead.
Suzuki Alto Lapin SS, the car that is not the manly car. In this car, you have to deal with foreplay.
Not interested. Next guy.
It wasn't a very good continuation of your joke, was it? The Lapin SS. Lapin is French for rabbit, and so it's like a rabbit. And it's an SS, not like a Chevy SS or an Impala SS. This is a Lapin SS, which I guess you're allowed to do in Japan because the copyright probably doesn't work in Japan.
Ooh, interesting point.
But also many cars are called Type R, and nobody.
I heard in Japan you're allowed to have a company named the same thing as another company.
Oh.
So if we wanted to start a company called Honda, we could do that. There are lots of companies called Honda, like Honda Pipe Fitting or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's common for someone to have their last name as the company name here in Japan.
Like Suzuki, right?
Yeah.
Suzuki's a big one.
So if somebody wanted a company name like Pacific Coast Imports and they were in Japan, I think theoretically they could do that.
All right. Dang.
They'd still be idiots, but they could be, I guess, legal idiots. The Suzuki Lapin is an Alto Works in a different package. This one is 4-wheel drive. You can get them in front-wheel drive as well. They come with a 5-speed manual, and they're cool little sporty tiny cars. They will absolutely stand out anywhere that you drive them that does not normally have K cars on the road because they are small and weird looking. They kind of look like a mix-up of a bunch of different cars. I can see some Nissan Cube in there. I could see some Toyota BB in there.
I was gonna say one of these, but open deck, a little pickup Lapin.
I think somebody might have already done that.
Maybe.
It does have the proportions to turn it into a pickup truck.
Yeah.
It's the normal Lapin is pretty lackluster, but of course if you get the turbocharged engine like in this one, 64 horsepower, tunable to 100 horsepower if you want.
Wow.
Not that expensive to tune it to 100 horsepower. We're talking under $2,000 for everything.
And manual.
Yeah. You know, they're little cheap runabouts, but we don't sell a lot of them. And I think we should.
You like them a lot, don't you?
I just think they're cool.
Yeah.
We had considered one of these for our race car when we were looking at different race cars.
Yeah.
That we can use.
If they're 4-wheel drive, I would like to see one turn into like an ice racing vehicle. I could see some like bull bars on the front and maybe like an exoskeleton style and take off those side skirts, lift it up a little bit. Lifted Lapin. Maybe we'll get Gran into one. I think it's possible.
Lifted Lapin also sounds good.
Yeah.
If you lifted
Lifted
it,
Lapin.
it kind of would be an SUV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lifted pickup Lapin.
These are also
Yeah.
really cheap too. The SS ones, of course, are going to be more expensive. This one starts at $30. I don't know because I haven't checked the prices, but if I recall, the prices used to be about $1,500 for a decent condition one. I think they're probably a little bit more expensive now.
Max, can
What
you
up?
click the has this been at auction before?
Of
We might
course.
find no. Oh yes, some.
Oh, well, we don't know if it's the exact same one, but we can check. 984 is the VIN number. Sold for 103,000 yen.
Very cheap.
Now let's go back to that other one and see if it is 984. No, it's 259. So one with the same mileage and the same color, because that's how they make these. They don't actually have the VIN number registered,
You can get false positives.
and so that's a false positive there. But a similar car. Can you actually click on that one, the JU Fukuoka one?
Mm-hmm.
And let's have a quick look at the sheet. 103,000 is $800. It does have a corrosion hole in the front cross member. So,
Yikes.
understandable.
Front cross member. The
Weird
heck?
to get a corrosion hole there, honestly.
Yeah. And Fukuoka as well.
Fukuoka could have been by the beach.
Yeah. Yeah. The mismatched
paint's
panel
bad.
paint. Yeah.
And it also has a few areas
But
of pretty big damage.
If you want a cheap race car, or if you're making an off-road Lapin,
There you go.
Yeah. Rust is just natural weight reduction.
yeah, you can always tube frame it.
Yeah.
Like how we warn people, don't do this. Corrosion, bad, very bad. Nah, it's fine. We're our own worst
For a
enemy.
race car, I mean.
Yeah.
Different use case, right? And then the last one here, a 2002 Suzuki Jimny Wild Wind. This was our thumbnail
Oh,
picture
yeah.
because it
Pink?
stands out and we wanted
That
people
is
to notice
cool.
the thumbnail.
I
Look
love Jimneys, and this is like the best kind of Jimny.
And this is
Man.
every time I see them drive by here in Yokohama.
Yeah.
The lifted, and you hear
Yeah.
the tires that roll up,
Yeah.
and then
These
They're-
Jimneys sound so cool with their
Yeah.
exhaust.
motorcycle exhaust and the 3-cylinder. It's just,
So, assuming this was owned by a lady, which it may not have been, but can you imagine, as a guy who's into off-roading, say you're going off-roading and you're in your off-road car and you're like, this is so much fun. I love doing off-roading. I'm going in the mud. I'm going over rivers. Oh no, I've got stuck.
What are you going to do?
I cannot get myself out. I need help. And then round the corner comes this lifted pink Jimny, and
To save the day.
the girl of your dreams is just like, do you need a hand? Is that
Oh,
emasculating?
Oh, man. The amount of boners you would get if there was a girl off-roading in this.
Right.
If it was a guy off-roading, I think that you wouldn't have very much patience in your typical off-roading community for a pink Jimny driven
Yeah.
by a guy.
Yeah.
But if it were a girl, it
Yeah.
would be boner city.
Right. But here's my question. So I'm assuming if you're going off-roading, and there are people in the chat who I know go on off-roading or at least on trails and things, if you needed rescuing and you got rescued by a girl, would that be like A++ the best day of your life? Or would that be like, oh no, I can't believe
Yeah,
I
it's a
had to
weird-
get
it's a
rescued
weird
by this
question,
girl
isn't it?
and I'm really attracted to her, but she's kind of out off-roading me.
We're kind of dabbling in the
Spaghetti
bro
software.
community when we're talking about that topic.
Yeah, Spaghetti Software said getting stuck on purpose is a thing around.
wait, is that the help me, Jimny, I'm stuck?
Maybe, yeah.
Where's that pink girl? Hey, I'll help you. No, I want the pink girl.
Oh, I'm fine. I get myself out.
Well, Jimneys can only pull other Jimneys out. They're not heavy enough to pull anything
well,
manually.
Not
Yeah.
true. The Jimny
BBs.
pulled the BB out.
Oh,
We got
fair
rescued
enough,
by an
but
army
we were
of
just being
Jimneys.
idiots out there.
That's true. We had a front-wheel drive car with no suspension clearance.
And no LSD in the front, so it's a
Yeah.
one-wheel drive car.
Yeah. We got stuck on a flat place.
But it was Jimneys that saved us.
Yep.
A whole fleet of them. They didn't seem to be very good at saving people, honestly.
Nah, they're probably
Having
used to
used
seeing
so I
Jimneys
used to
there.
go off-roading semi-frequently in Canada before I moved to Japan.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to be saved and to save people. They were like scratching their head a lot. Like I think that they
Yeah,
were
probably 'cause-
LARPing more than anything else.
They're probably scratching their head because, like, why are you guys even here? This isn't the kind of car you bring off.
Right. And everyone else there was in a Jimny, hence doesn't need to be saved.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
They're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Answers in the comments below. Would you like to be saved by a girl in a pink chimney or not?
The dog was named Kevin.
Kevin.
My dog. My name
friend
Kevin.
dog.
My friend.
My dog. Kevin.
Remember,
My
you
name
can
is Kevin.
buy this through Pacific Coast Auto.
You can.
Max really wants somebody to buy a car.
I'm
would
waiting
love that.
for the day that some of our customers.
So Max
finally
is
buy
going
something.
to make you something as the gift that you get. It's
Some
going to be a
super cool
custom
edit.
craft, like an Etsy type thing
Oh,
from Max
okay.
and his wife.
I think if you were buying a car and you wanted Max to make you something, you probably want a video from Max.
that is true.
I think you'd be like, that would be
Oh,
great.
I see what
like
you're
a
getting at
custom
here.
video.
Custom video if someone.
Okay,
buys
wait.
something.
Are you
Wait, we
willing
need-
to say that if somebody buys a car that they see on our video, and it's because they watch the video, then you're going to make a special edit video for them?
A small one, but only if it's not in my free time.
I was gonna say, like, you probably have to have we should have like a Max stamp. So this week's Max stamp car is the Jimny. You buy the Jimny, Max will do the video. Because Max, you
Yeah,
probably
just-
want to do a video on something that you think is cool, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, like a super great dump, you'd be like, wow, that could be
that could
funny.
be a
and
good
it's
video.
funny.
Yeah, that would be something. Yeah. But for that,
Okay,
to
it's
happen, the car
official.
needs to-
Max is going to give you a small edit, and this is a big deal. Even though it sounds like it's a small deal because it's a small edit, Max is very good.
Very
and
good.
to buy something like that for your car on the professional market would be quite expensive.
Yeah.
And so we are willing, and I'm the good guy too here because I pay his salary and he'll do that during work time,
Yeah.
not his own. So
And we'll show it on the
you
show.
can congratulate us all. You for good
Thank you.
video editing, me for having money.
I'm just hanging out.
You'll be
in the video.
Facilitator.
Right, I will facilitate.
You can say stupid jokes in the video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I will cameo if Max wants me to cameo.
Deal.
George says
I think
we
that's
need
good.
US legal cars here so I can get Epic Max video gift. Let's just not
Okay.
put. Will you?
We often have U.S. legal cars in here because the way that we search it, like interesting cars just tend to be older.
Yeah.
So we have talked about a lot of U.S. legal cars.
Yeah.
Just not this week.
DW said, how much is this Jimny going to go for? Do we have past
So,
history?
The,
It's at JUI.
the pink is going to turn off any
No.
dealers. Like not any dealer. Most dealers aren't going to want anything that is outside of the
Outrageous.
norm because they want to sell it and they don't want to limit their buying group. The smaller dealers that do it for passion, I think, might be more interested in it. Just because it is outrageous, and
Yeah.
some people might see the pink car and go, yes, I have to have that, and therefore are willing to pay a little bit more
Yeah.
for it. But I would say in general it would be less expensive because of the pink, but like kitted out versions, especially ones with
nice
exo
lift.
cage like this one
Yeah.
has,
Yep.
can be worth a little bit more than your regular Jimny. If I were to
on this one, high mileage, corrosion.
Oh, dear. Not stamped by Max's seal of approval because you may have to drive it.
Ouch.
It,
it
Grant
says
just came in.
floor member has a corrosion hole that has been repaired. Front pillar has been dented. You kind of want that in a Jimny, all honesty.
You know, it's been field tested.
Aftermarket exhaust, air filter, aftermarket suspension, corrosion on the underside, paint peeling. Paint peeling on a color change car is a bit of a problem because of the color matching for repairs. Can be a problem.
And then you know it was painted
No spare tire.
maybe cheaply and the paint hasn't lasted all that long.
It's
Maybe
also an off-road car. You want to probably
Yeah.
paint it again.
off-road cars too, like the condition matters less. Like if it does have corrosion, how many off-roaders are there in Canada with corrosion holes in them somewhere?
Yeah. Denzel also Grant came in and said it's the interior is yellowed from smoking. So yeah, maybe not so good.
Max
Yeah,
wants
paint
that.
chef, no.
I think that Denzel wants that video.
It does.
So we should probably pick some
I would-
cars that are actually.
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
think you
bought
should
by
pick
people.
one each week. Like give it your seal of approval.
It's gonna be an Alteza.
It's every week you'll get an Alteza.
Nah.
Please put lifted Land Cruisers in there too, because we can force Grant to drive it and complain.
Oh, that would make for a great edit. Like a sick, sleek edit of like exterior shots in Japan and then interior of Grant just being like, this sucks.
There's too much body roll in this. Think of the fuel economy.
Yeah.
I just
I can't park it.
This is not practical.
We just filmed a video last week, And is this maybe the transition to
Oh,
the
yeah.
next segment? Derek, what?
Okay, yeah. The next segment is this week at PCA. This is where we're going to give information. This used to be at the beginning of the show, where we would warm you up and tell you about all of the fun things that's happening in the Pacific Coast Auto office. We got a number of things here and some funny things too. This is the Derek picks his nose part. And I love that story.
Now I get it. Did not understand before.
First things first. It's been a while since our YouTube channel Drives Japan has had an update. This is Max's fault, and so direct any hate toward him. He took a holiday right when we needed him the most.
Did take a holiday.
If you are looking to get more Drives Japan content, you're in luck because we have a new video that's coming up pretty soon. We have shot the majority of it. We are shooting
yesterday.
Huh?
We wanted to shoot yesterday, but then we didn't.
I just thought about that when I was saying it. I was going to change it to we're probably going to shoot this afternoon. Just one last part, and it is a Grant's Fit versus Grant's Swift, a cheap Japanese car comparison between the two of them, and I think the video is coming together lovely.
Yes.
And you'll get to see Grant's new car in it. Usually we do a new car reveal type video, but this one is also a comparison because you still have both cars, the Fit versus the Swift.
And because it's two very interesting cars to buy.
That's right. Which are in the same price point and same kind of market segment, right? Well, maybe not same price point. After he's modified it, though.
Yeah. And it's the Fit RS. It's the one you don't get outside of Japan. The Japanese exclusive. Are you finished your milk?
Yes. I was drinking milk from the cup. Backed by popular demand, the PCA cups.
They
will be raffled off at the end of each show. Bidding starts at $100.
We'll turn them into a hat.
Oh, not
so
with
that
milk
you can wear
in it.
them.
Heck no.
Okay, so that new video coming up, when is it going to be done?
When?
Let's put your feet to the fire, Max.
My main concern
Tomorrow.
is that we need to do some scripting for the video.
That means
He
Max
threw it
has
right
to
back
rely
at me.
on you.
He knows that I can't do scripting in a quick time. I wish that I were good enough that anything that comes out of my brain could be written into the script, but I'm concerned about the quality of the script, and it doesn't come super naturally to me.
Give Derek
pat on the back.
compliments, and he will enjoy doing it more.
I have to say, Max said that his wife watched the show last week.
She did.
Wow.
And
Live.
you know whose wife has never watched the show? This guy.
Uh-oh.
And Mike doesn't have a girlfriend. And so the purpose of this segment
Nobody's
is
watched
to
the
try to
show.
find Mike a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I understand that we mostly have men that watch our show. And so if you are interested, send an email to show@Pacific Coast JDM.com.
Like an animation that
A little-
points
Hey, one of the
out-
guys in the chat is here in Japan, right? There we go.
Hey, if we could just leave it to just women, that would be really helpful to me.
So the purpose of mentioning this, aside from the jokes, is that I need to find a way to incentivize my wife to watch the show. Every morning that it's the show, I say, if you're missing me, watch the show. She never watches the show.
She's not missing you.
So if you do have an idea of how I can incentivize my wife to watch the show, please let us know. You
I have
don't
an
have to
idea.
come up with that now. You can
I came
email
up
it.
with now.
And Mike, you can also email yours to show@pacificcoastjdm.com. Huh?
I'm going to say it, but you do
Okay,
it
say it.
first. So,
You know my wife.
I
so.
echo my... Oh, I don't know if I should say
That's
her
okay.
name,
You
but
can say her name.
yes. Your wife, if she's watching the show now, what would you say to her?
Oh, you're going to put me on the spot here.
Yeah.
My dear, I know you have not wanted to watch the show because you can't stand my face. I am getting plastic surgery
Going well so far.
sometime. And I'm not doing it for myself. It's for you. Because I want you to watch the show. That's all I got.
Okay,
Okay,
now...
this was the official Whistling Diesel joke
Within
in the show.
We were thinking about putting that into the show. Or I was
Now
thinking about
it's in
putting
there.
that into the show. The very weird lovey-dovey Whistling Diesel video that he thought was the content that
Yeah.
his viewers wanted to watch.
Yeah.
And then doubles down and says, oh, you guys don't like people that are happy.
Yeah.
Well, maybe some of his audience doesn't want to see people that are happy, but I think it's more like, what the hell are you doing?
Go destroy some cars,
People
please.
watch you because they want to see cars get destroyed, not a couple's vlog. There
Yeah.
is no crossover between those two. The Venn diagram is so far apart, you can't see the two circles at the same time.
So in conclusion, to get your wife to watch the show, you can say
Couple's vlog.
there was no.
I'll
there
put
was,
it on the channel.
Yeah, okay. You just tell her there's a segment just for her.
Spaghetti Software had a good idea. Get a lockbox, put it in your kitchen, and tell her there's a gift for her inside of it. And then mention that somewhere in the episode of the show, it flashes on the screen, the code or anything.
Perfect.
That is a very good idea.
She'll be determined. That's a great to instill determination in someone. That's good.
Sure.
Just make sure the gift doesn't suck. That's an important part.
Do you guys want to watch some rally videos?
Oh yeah.
Yes?
Wait, is this? Have I seen this? Wait,
No.
we can't hear
I haven't
it.
seen these either. Max put
But
these into the docket.
You
But we
haven't
can't hear it.
Yeah, you can't hear it.
That's okay. We'll live vicariously through
Do
the
you want
the
to
audience.
make the sounds with your mouth?
Yeah. Why not?
Can you make a Subaru sound?
No. Yeah.
If the chat could let me know if the audio for the video is loud enough for you to get, that would be lovely, because I can't monitor the end product. But Richard, who sent in the amazing rally pictures for last show,
He was in the chat earlier today too.
yep,
Yeah.
he promised to get a video. And this is the video. We're not going to watch
Richard
6
delivered.
minutes of video, but I think it's pretty cool.
It looks
Some
like it's in
parts.
snow.
It's in Iceland. Everywhere there is snow. They have no
Ooh.
non-snowy areas in Iceland. That's why they call it that.
Okay, so I'm gonna watch this now, and then when we're done with the show, I'm gonna go watch the audio version.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't they say it was like he had the Samir breaking the car moment?
A
Or is
little
that
bit,
not
yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my god, they're gonna crash.
Yeah.
Fucking góðan daginn
Hey, they're not in Iceland.
He put in subtitles
og
too.
velkomin
I love that.
í síðasta rall 2020. Í þessu sporti mjög mikilvægt að geta ekki hreyft búk
So I'm assuming this is them, like. Oh,
en
shit.
þið verða að geta hreyft limi.
Seeing the car starting there?
Wow.
Við byrjum í þarna vinstri bein hana. Já, takk. Ekki var niður í hægri fjóru 150.
He's gibberish.
Í hægri, vinstri 350.
Not my fault. It is gibberish.
Oh man, this looks so cool.
Lind í hægri fjóra. Lind í hægri fjóra. Hægri fjóru löng og hún kreppist
I
hér.
would be such a terrible co-driver.
Kreppist. Í vinstri fjóra og hún kreppist í gam. Lift og drift. Jep, þessi kreppist í gónu löng og kreppist. Og blind beint eftir hann af. Startan. Blind í hægri 2 plus. Í vinstri 2 plus. Æjæjæjæjæj, þetta ekki gott. Í vinstri 2 plus, í blind beint niður. Í blind 600.
I think that was the funniest part. The yeet.
400. Það er makkar 3. Vinstri 2.
And then there was this.
Whoa, that looks like he probably screamed. Okay, nice. Imagine they're so kind and friendly in Iceland too. They're probably very much like, good day, how are you? Isn't it a great day to be rallying?
Does this race start? There were some jumps in this. Maybe I just skipped it, but
It looks so hard to read those pace notes when they're moving around like that.
Yeah. Oh,
nice. Yeah. And then there was the segment where I was like, wow.
oh, whoa.
Yeah, that's why the car had to be retired after this, right?
What you
That
said
looks
about
intense.
reading the pace notes and then that when it's... There's no way.
Water got inside my suit.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that doesn't look like a good time.
I don't know.
That looks like a really good time to me. You're not going that fast. Right?
This is awful. We're like, that looks awesome. They're like, nope.
Wow, what damage to the car.
Yeah. Oh, water from the dashboard. That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, I think you get the idea. Awesome videos. Thanks for sending
Yeah,
that in.
thank you.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
It was really cool to see.
Is it? Oh, it's unlisted, so you can't
Yeah.
see the video. But
PCA Rallye Team when?
oh,
I will say that there is nothing that scares me more than rally driving in the whole world of motorsports. Rally is just so unpredictable, and the
yeah.
consequences, because you're not on a circuit, could be severe.
Yeah.
Go off track, flip your car. Like, you've all seen the videos. That frightens me. And controlling the car on surfaces that have different amounts of traction, different kind of ruts and stuff like that. I don't know how they do that. These are people
Yeah.
with like missing the frontal cortex in their brain.
In the best possible way.
Richard.
I got it.
It wasn't Richard that was driving though. Maybe
Yeah. Still,
he's
that's
the smart one.
I don't know. There's some risk in motorsport. Whatever you do, I'm sure this is managed risk, right? Like
Right.
solid roll cage. They're all wearing like
Sure, and maybe
safety neck braces and things, I assume.
you work up to this. Like,
Yeah.
once you're comfortable enough in controlling a car in extreme circumstances, maybe it's less scary.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm there yet.
Yeah. Plus, you don't have to push it like a world rally champion,
Looks
right?
like they are.
Well, it does look like they're going really quick. Yeah.
It looks fun, and that one doesn't look as dangerous as many of the other ones, right? You
I
don't
like how
have
there's
like
no trees.
super big berms that you're gonna fall off of
Yeah.
and roll down a hill or something like that.
No, props to those guys though. Very cool.
Okay, I got a quick little picture that I want to show you guys. I saw this on a listing for a car for sale on Bring a Trailer. Just had to show it because of the awesomeness. Being an 80s boy and having very much fun with the Game Boy. I was a pre-Game Boy Color, but still, it touches me in the feelings areas. And that's a speedometer for the car, an aftermarket speedometer. It tells you how fast that you're going on the Game Boy screen. So somebody took a real Game Boy, opened it up, and put their own screen in there, and wired everything to make it work.
Yeah. Very
It's
cool.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
I hope that you can turn it on and off with the same power button. That would be excellent.
And if they had like a little like opening logo or something, I would like
Yeah,
that.
the Nintendo
pretty
logo
cool.
coming
Yeah.
onto the screen.
Yep.
Or if the speaker here still like
Yeah, Game
if
Boy
you go
sounds.
over, you know, the Japanese cars will go ding when they go over
Yeah.
100 kilometers an hour from the 80s, right? If they could wire it up to do that, that would be very cool. That's all there is to do that. I just
Fun
thought it was a
people
cool
doing
picture,
fun
wanted to
things.
show. Next one, more pictures to show you. This one here might have been directed at me. Actually, it wasn't. It wasn't directed at
But
me,
it could have
but I
been.
got to show you this. So first off,
It was directed at Derek.
so this was in the bathroom of the house planner. So here in Japan, when you want to buy a custom house, you go to the company, you tell them what you want, and then you do like every weekend or once a week, you go there and talk to them about the floor plan and stuff like that. So in the bathroom of this place, because we're house planning, which will be done tomorrow, the very final day, the very, very, very final day.
For sure this time.
Nope.
'Cause- Oh.
I already said that before. It's not
Okay.
for sure. There's this note.
In a Japanese office.
There are no other foreigners that I have ever seen in this office. This is a shared bathroom between two offices on one floor of an office building, right?
Would you like to read the note? Just for the people who are listening and maybe not watching.
You go ahead and read it.
It's okay, this is a note that is on a white A4 piece of paper and it is laminated.
So you know it's
It's
severe.
serious. They don't want this note to go missing. They don't want to have to make it again. It is
They
there.
don't want Japanese people to be able to understand it. It is only in English. And sometimes you'll find notes in the bathroom that's in Japanese and English. But
Right.
this is only English, so
Right.
it's targeted.
So I can read it and I will read it. It is complete English. It says attention at the top. And then the first point, there are 2 points. Please wash your hands or wipe your fingers with Kleenex or toilet paper after picking your nose.
You can think about everything, but then picking your nose comes.
Right. Anyway, second note, do not put your booger on a urinal or on the wall around the urinal or rub on toilet paper holder.
These are the rules. You are not allowed to do any of those things, but only if you're capable of understanding it in English. Now, here's what I'm thinking. There's probably somebody in the other office that I'm not aware of that is probably not Japanese, and they've been targeted as the booger putter. But I will say that they have no idea to know who the booger culprit is.
Right.
Unless they are peeking in. So somebody found a booger, and they're like, I know, it's that dirty foreigner. I'll fix this.
Yeah. Just so they can
Put the
read
sign
it in
up.
English.
But then the foreigner, maybe there are more than one foreigner. I've seen some of the people in that office when they come into the bathroom. I've never seen a non-Japanese person from that office.
Yeah.
A pretty big office, I'd say 4 times the size of our office.
But usually there needs to be something happening before there is a sign being put up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
so
needs
you
to be
know
a
that it's
problem.
happened.
And it happened, and someone must have complained. Only then a sign is being put up.
And also, they've given like incidences here. Like there was a booger found on a urinal, which I would like to talk about later. There was one found on the wall around the urinal, or it was on the toilet paper holder. So these are probably 3 separate incidents of boogers being found in those places, and that's why they were like, we
Because
gotta
you
make
don't
a
have
sign.
enough in there. Like, you have
This is
limited
turning
supplies
into
of
the cool
boogers.
booger
If you
show.
Yeah. But okay, so the main point I would like to address here is a booger on a urinal? Like some boogers you can flick, right? But
Right.
many of them are sticky. That means you have to touch the urinal, probably finger a booger urinal. But
Right.
even so, like if you're wiping
yeah,
up,
you definitely have to give it the
I have
smear.
never once touched a urinal in my life with my hands.
Maybe
nor
they're
would I want
counting
to.
the seat of the urinal as part of the urinal because you've touched
A
those.
seat? Wait,
Yeah,
I'm
the
thinking
flip-up
this is
seat.
like men's urinal, right?
I think this was right next to a toilet, not a urinal.
Okay. Okay. I was thinking like
I
who
think
in
they
their
just
right
used
mind
the
would
word
be like
urinal for
urinal.
somewhere that
I'll
like
touch that.
translation issue.
Yeah.
The English is kind of interesting. Kleenex is definitely not used by most Japanese people. They would have said tissue because the Japanese word for tissue is tissue.
Yeah.
And Kleenex isn't a brand that's common here.
Yeah.
So it's a foreigner battle. It's maybe
Written by a foreigner, right?
the foreigner was like, that wasn't me. And I don't want it to seem like it was me. So I'll be the person who instigates this whole sign thing as a way to show the rest of the office that I was the foreigner that was good.
Yeah.
It's
And
probably Japanese Jisan.
Jeez. Yeah. And it's written in a way that looks like it was written by somebody who has English as their first language or spent time in the USA.
I'm not a big proponent of using the camera in the toilet room either. I felt very awkward pulling it out and having the camera make that shutter sound, which is mandated here in
yeah.
Japan. To the other people in the bathroom, if you heard that, I'm sorry. I was taking a picture of anyway. On to the next thing. An update to you about the sad state of affairs of the candies. To
This
those
is
who
a
have
sad
not
story.
bought from us, you do not know this. When you buy from us, you get a secret. Don't tell anybody, but you get cool Japanese sweets
JDM candies.
or snacks in your bag because it's fun and it leaves a lasting positive impression for the customer.
Yeah.
They appreciate it because it's something cool from Japan that you otherwise don't get. They're not expecting it until now.
Now
So you're
the
saying
secret is
any of our
not
people
out
watching?
because nobody here is going to tell.
The US has made some changes in the rules. It's a little bit of a weird change. So typically you can import something into a country if the value is below a certain amount. They don't want to handle customs on when you send like a mug to someone. And so they just let you get customs for free if it's under a certain amount. Every country in the world does this. Until now, the USA has decided they don't want to do this anymore. And as such, they've got these weird convoluted rules that nobody understands. And as a result of them not explaining the rules of cutting this ability, Japanese Post and a number of other post offices around the world have changed their regulations for sending things to the USA, especially smaller priced items like this. The rules are ultra weird. Like, the fee is $80 if it fits into this category and has tariffs between this amount and this amount. So if we send a package to the customer that has the documents for the car and we add a little thing of snacks, they might be charged $80 or $120 or something like that as a workaround. Now, Japan Post has made a rule that you're not allowed to send for certain things. We send by DHL. We're not really sure how this rule is going to fall. So until this is fixed, U.S. customers aren't going to be able to get their candies, which sucks.
If you're sad about that, lobby your government to stop this madness.
Yeah, all the other
Allow
bad
the
things in the
candies.
government are not a concern to me, but the candies from Pacific
Correct.
Coast Auto are.
Yeah. Now these regulations are hitting close to home. It is action Now is the time for action. I'm trying to galvanize people so that we can
Nice.
send cool candies to people.
Love it.
Sorry for USA
And,
people, but the rest of the world, secret candies as usual.
Buy more because we have a surplus of secret candies. This also affects what we're doing with merch. We're not doing an awful lot with merch at the moment. We made those stickers as a trial run. When we have some time, we wanted to get into expanding that, offering those for sale, maybe doing t-shirts, hats,
Yep.
key fobs, stuff like that is absolutely interesting. People have been wanting it. We want to supply it to the people who want it. Probably it's not. I feel like things are going to come back to normal soon enough that it's not going to put a damper on it. But more than half of our customers are in the USA, so this is a concern for doing the planning for that sort of thing.
Buying an $8 sticker and then getting $80 of fines for getting it?
Not fines, tariffed or
Tariffs.
duties.
That's going to be the sticker that you take the best care of on your car.
Yeah.
We make a sticker. I paid $80 in tax.
Oh
in
gosh,
tariffs
could you
for this.
imagine?
That'd be funny.
Yeah, and by the
Yikes.
way, we haven't landed on $8 for a sticker. That to
Yeah,
me
that was
sounds
just
too
like
expensive. Right,
Because-
it probably wouldn't be that much.
88 Gaijin Escape.
And that's all for the This Week at PCA. So our next segment is, you want to say it, Sexy Mike?
Questions and answers. You ask, we answer.
I want to let everybody know that Mike is only Sexy Mike in the show. That's literally the only time I call him that.
Nah, you've called it to me other times.
Okay.
Anytime we get in the trunk of a car. Wow, if people don't know that, that's a really weird mental image. You're like, what do you mean every time you guys get in the trunk of a car?
We
Doesn't
did
make
that
sense.
for the video that Max is editing right now, the Fit versus the Swift. We got in the trunk of both of those.
Don't explain these things.
We even closed the trunk.
Yeah, well, we tried to. I'm a bit too large.
No, we
You
could
fit
close
in
the
there
Fit.
nicely.
We
Did
could
we?
not close the
Oh, yeah.
Swift.
Yeah, fit was easy.
Yeah.
Okay, questions. Kevin Hill from the last show. This is quite a long comment, so I highlighted the most important parts. He said he bought a Pajero, saw a Pajero with a grade 3, and before that it was at another auction as a grade 2. So he was confused why that shifted from 2 to 3. And he assumes it wouldn't be a good buy, but he is curious how common it is for grades to change like that. And then the overarching question is that usually a seller trying to recover money after realizing the car isn't in great condition, or is it simply the result of different inspectors?
I feel like we've talked about this on one of the shows, but I could be wrong.
I think it's a kind of follow-up question to the last show.
You want me to answer?
Mm-hmm.
So this is pretty common for, you'll see when we go into when we do the car picks for the show, I will often ask to see if the vehicle has sold at auction before because it gives you a little bit more information. I think, honestly speaking, everybody who's searching for a car should be using that button. Has this vehicle been at auction before? It's on the right-hand side of the auction tool. Click that button. Takes a few seconds and can either save your butt or give you some valuable information about the car before you decide to bid. Onto his question. Pretty common for vehicles to show up there. Sometimes they're sold, sometimes they're not sold, sometimes they're false positives and it's a completely different vehicle. Grades changing, that happens too. It depends on the auction house grading the vehicle. Actually, this is the perfect show to answer this question. We just went into a lot of information on what the auctions are good at finding, what they're bad at finding, what things can be missed sometimes, but not all the time. So it's really just that, a difference in what was found at one auction house versus what was found at another. Sometimes there can be a difference of grading, like a 3.5 and a 4. Maybe one auction house has slightly different criteria, which matches, but generally they're going to be pretty consistent. If I ever saw a vehicle with a grade 2 or a grade R2, I would almost instantly disqualify that vehicle as a vehicle I want. Even if that was at a previous auction listing, most of the time the vehicles are not repaired in between auction listings. So
And if they are from a grade 2 to a grade 3, they're probably not done well. They're done cheap and dirty to make profits.
Yeah. It's usually a car that has been at auction before and is now being re-auctioned is either that buyer is trying to flip the car for a profit, and you'll be paying more than the price that you see it sold for. Fair enough. Some people try to get good deals at auction and then make a quick buck. The other one is people who have bought a vehicle and then realize the vehicle's worse than they thought and they want to clean their hands of it. I would say that's probably less common. Still a concern, especially if it was a grade 2. Expect to pay roughly what the vehicle cost. The third one is if the sale didn't go through for whatever reason or got cancelled or claimed on or something, but we have no way to know which scenario it is. So
yeah, if you show us an example, we can give our advice in what it probably is, but in some of those cases we don't really know.
Yeah.
If you want to bid on a car, you see, hey, this car has been at auction before and had this grade. Can you comment on that? That is a valid thing to do as a customer of PCA.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Sure. Yeah, generally speaking, I would avoid a vehicle that had been sold before because there's too much ambiguity around what happened during the sale and why, like, a good vehicle would be kept by whoever bought it. They would be happy with the price and the vehicle they got. If they're not for any reason,
right? But there still are a lot of flippers to take into consideration that are buying good cars for flipping.
That is true.
That said, though, if they're flipping it, you might not be interested in paying an extra whatever they want. Yeah. The flippers are, it's like buying the PlayStation 5 for
I personally don't want
$800.
to support that kind of business. I don't think people should be doing it because they're adding zero value. Yeah. So go away.
And if they bought it for that lower price, then you can get one for a lower price too.
Yeah.
They're professionals in what they do. They will only allow it to sell for what would be considered more than what it's worth on average.
Yeah.
Okay. Chat questions.
Richard. You've been asking, we'll answer.
The answer is no.
What?
I read the question already. The answer is no.
Oh.
Go ahead and ask the question.
Have you guys ever had a car that smelled a little spicier than just cigarettes?
Oh.
Richard had another question.
Okay.
I think the F&E version of the FC RX-7 smells like dill pickles. Every one I've ever been in, and they only made 500 or something of them? 500 of them.
Mm-hmm.
They all smell like pickles. They come with special seats in them, like special Mazda Speed seats.
Special pickle seats?
And they smell like pickles.
You're in a pickle.
Very weird.
Oh, so he was asking, like, he bought one of these cars. He thought it smelled funky. Was that funkiness something that is illicit material in Japan?
No, it's just I've only ever been in a few of those, like 3 of them, but every single one of them had a distinct smell of pickles in them. And I think it's because of, like, whatever they use to make those seats.
And which car is this, sorry? Infiniti RX-7?
The FC version.
FC?
It's the special extra horsepower version that they made right at the very end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the pickles.
Yeah, so if you like pickles, go ahead and... Well, they're hard to find, so even if you like pickles, you probably won't... I think there are more than 500 people that like pickles.
To extend on the question, I think it was about illicit material, but was there ever a car where you got in that was
vape
like,
in your car?
Oh, yeah, my BMW smelled like candy apple vape.
But that's
mine
not illicit.
smelled like fresh mint.
Yeah, yours smell heavily of fresh mint. It's like somebody had chewed a whole pack for days on end.
But do you
in
remember
terms of
any
illicit
car that
materials, that kind of stuff is mostly not done here to the same extent as it's done outside of Japan. They're very strict with those sorts of things. It's more of a controlled substance in most cases, so harder to get, more expensive, less desirable. Most people in Japan are more interested in just using alcohol for their recreation or nothing at all. The alcohol rates are on the decline here as well.
Yeah.
Anything else that you remember as funny smells?
A weird smell inside of a car.
The weird smells have all been cigarettes that are gross, and I want to vomit.
I've definitely had some weird smelling cars, but I'm not sure if I can...
The white BB smelled like wet dog.
Still does.
My first car smelled like that too.
All right.
Yeah.
The FT2 I have right now is quite strong, and it's... I don't know what the smell is. It's definitely an air freshener, but it seems to be changing over time. Like it's become quite like organic smelling, like you would go into a herbal shop or something, and they're like, I've got this smoked cherry oregano seasoning for your car, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, our minivan smells like transmission fluid right now.
Oh, and Pine Sol.
At one point it did. This Pine Sol's all gone away now.
Okay.
Next question from Dark Corsair. If there was a PCA rally team, who would drive and who would be the one who is reading the track?
I can't read the track. My ADHD would make me forget what I'm doing or where I am, and I'd be like, it's a left and it'll be a right. Absolutely not. I wouldn't mind being a team manager. I wouldn't want to drive too much. I think of everyone who works here, I think Jacob's the one who would want to drive the most. He seems the most reckless.
And I would not want to be in the car when he's doing that.
Is Jacob in the office right now?
Yeah.
Okay, Jacob, sorry. Oh, he didn't hear me.
He'll hear it on the show. Yeah, I'm a terrible passenger, so that sounds like the worst day on earth to me, to be a passenger, having to concentrate on reading notes while I already hate being a passenger while someone's trying to race.
Do you get car sick when you like look at things when you're in the car?
Yeah, a decent amount, I'd say.
Perfect.
No.
And I'm not so very good at the English, so I probably couldn't.
Hey, most of the rally drivers are from Europe, right?
Yep.
Rally's big in Europe, and so I don't actually know where I'm going with this, but
You're going on to like into the genes of people.
My uncle has done
Was that
rally
a Nazi
co-driving.
joke?
No.
He doesn't. That was actually on video, Max. People can play that in Germany, and when you go back on holiday, they'll arrest you.
You've said trans and Nazi in the same episode.
I'm trying to appeal to a wide range of people.
Right. Okay.
So now to the question that you would answer with no. Should I read it?
Yeah.
What's the update or what's the status on Mike's shorts in the office battle?
No.
That answer is no.
Next question.
No, that's not very fair to Richard or me. I think we should have more of a discussion.
No, that
here.
sounds like a very definitive answer. What wouldn't be fair is a wishy-washy answer.
As
Is
you
the
can
point,
see,
Mike.
the
You know
working
how much I
conditions
hate
at Pacific
wishy-washy
Coast Auto
things.
are very tough.
Next question.
Send help.
Japakawa was asking regarding the grade. Do you think USS auctions buy cars themselves and grade it higher in a different branch?
I have heard somebody say that once. I have no proof of that, so I would like to not speculate. I don't think so, though. I would be very surprised if USS, the powerful company, would like to ruin their credibility by doing funny business to get very small profits compared to how much that they get normally. It's like, imagine you are the CEO of McDonald's and you're like, we are billionaires, but let's deal some drugs too. We'll get some heat on us for very small benefits.
Yeah.
That we don't actually need. And that doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah. I also, USS has a system where you can send a car to them and they will guarantee a sales price of, it's pretty low. It's like, what, it's $300, $500 or something. Or they will purchase the car from you. Usually this is like normal cars, like an Odyssey or a Legacy that is not special in any kind of way and is very low value, K-Truck or something like that. And there are specific criteria, but USS will buy that car. And then I don't know what they do with them after that.
Oh, I'm sure that
Probably
they would auction them.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't think the grade would change at all. I don't see that
And
being...
nobody's selling their car to USS unless it's just a junk car that's worth $300.
Right. And then why would USS try to get an extra $50 by screwing someone?
Yep. There's no other questions that I think we could answer.
So we're done the show.
Either we're done the show or
An
people
hour
spam
and
questions.
50 minutes.
That is about where we need to finish anyways.
Yeah, I gotta have lunch today. It's already almost 1 o'clock and I'm starving.
Me
Yes,
too.
well
Yeah.
do you know why?
Nope.
Because the working condition at PCA is very difficult and
You think
tough.
that I'm starving because I'm not wearing shorts?
Yeah, probably. That's likely.
My clothing here is very nice and airy.
He's not wearing pants. We should end the show because I've seen more than I bargained for.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Thank
Goodbye.
you for
Thank
tuning
you.
in.